When you go find a truck in a field, you know, maybe you go look at one in somebody's driveway to purchase, or if it's your own, you really don't know what's under there until you start pulling things apart. So getting this fender out of the way, again, we can see how much rot and kind of repair and repair and repair we've got. So there's a lot of layers to this onion we're gonna have to peel back. So we've got a pretty reasonable sort of cowl panel up here, but we've got patches on patches on patches. So we've got to get some of that out of the way to see what we even have for good metal. Now if we flip around to the inside, you know, you can see we've got sort of an inner panel here. It looks decent, and we've got a sort of a toe kick panel here. But what these are is they're layered on top of what's already there. So now you got a lot of area to trap moisture, dirt, debris, and really accelerate the rust. So on a farm field, just to get things moving, that's fine. But in a restoration, you really want to do it right. So I'm going to carefully start prying things apart, cutting, dissecting, try to get back to the good metal and see what we got. So I think it's time to put on all our safety gear, really start in here and make a mess. Talk about peeling back the layers. So this was assumably the original inner, and then this guy just was sitting right on top of it. And then if we go over to the front side, right, we had multiple layers, weird sort of folds and smash, just anything to stick this thing back together. So a lot of pieces in here. So the trick is really working back to something solid. And we're gonna have to still keep finding some of that in there, but I think getting rid of a lot of this stuff is just gonna be our best bet. So we're gonna continue to keep cutting through, and I'm building a strategy of how I'm gonna build it back. So I've got a bunch of cool panels from Brothers Trucks. So I've got a new inner, that fits right inside here. Then I've got this inner to outer, and I'll show you where that goes. So that guy will eventually go right up in here and replace all of this section. And then I've got a new outer, sort of lower cowl. This is their full big piece. And that guy will go right up here like that. Now I gotta figure out where I'm gonna splice and cut, because I don't necessarily have to put it right back together the way the panel's shaped. I can come in here and say, well, my hood fit pretty good, so I wanna maintain this line. So maybe what I do is trim this panel along in there. I get all this structure and shape, so it's nice and stout. And then I can do a butt weld somewhere back in here, and I can still move that panel a little bit because it's flat. I also got to think about some reference points. So once I cut some of this out, how am I going to locate it? So I'm going to hang on to this corner right here so I know where this guy goes. And I'll make sure I hang on to something down there so I get the right location. And I can start building my layers back out. All right. All right, well, Willie's having a good time in the Corvette. I'm over here doing a lot of grinding and getting dirty and gritty, but not such a bad time either. Good meaty project. We've got our outer cowl, our inner cowl, and we've got an inner outer fender piece here on our 50 Chevy truck. And you know, again, it's going back to clean metal, trying to find a place to put the good stuff on. So this A-pillar, once it's cleaned up, pretty solid. Working our way back in here. So eventually, I'll clean out a little bit more in here and a little bit more in there. Our inner outer sort of panel there. And then started working out a nice strategy for the outer cowl. What I want to do is just keep an eye on this hood line here. That'll sit in there so I can kind of hook it in place, and then I'm going to keep an eye on this sort of door edge, and I'll play around with it till I get it about where I like it, and I can come back here and I can put a couple clecos in to hold my panel in position for now, and keep going in and start fitting these other panels till they all kind of come together. And the clecos are nice because I can keep adjusting it, and I don't have to put a weld on it just yet. So I'm going to keep on digging till I get there. All right, so making some progress. We got our inner panel fitting pretty nice. We got our inner outer nice and tucked in there. Cleared out some space from this thing of stuff all stuck together that used to be kind of crowding that room over there. Have no idea what all that used to be, but you know, I guess it intended to keep the truck together, but now that's starting to look pretty good. Now I've got these little clecos here. These are pretty neat little devices. If I put my pliers on them and squeeze, this necks out and gets thinner, and I can pop it right in my little 1/8" hole here. I let go and bang, it holds my panel in place. And what's nice is I can change my mind, I can move things around, and all it is a little hole. I can spot fill it anytime I want. So if I've got to make some adjustments, I haven't done any welding, nothing's permanent. So I can build this up slowly, see what I've got, and if I need to come back, I can clean all this metal later. You know, I can build up to it, I can pull the panels to get out of the way. So a really great way to work. I'm going to continue to just keep building this up, and then when this looks pretty good, I can kind of make my plan for where to go from there.
Man, that is a lot of work. So say you're not into that much work or you don't have that much time on your hands. How about this? From Brothers Trucks, you can get exact reproduction fenders, just like they were brand new, anything from 1947 to 1954 models. They come ready to go, EDP coated, ready for paint, whatever you want to do. And these guys make every single thing about this truck. That way you don't have to do any rust repairs or anything like that. It's brand new, exactly like it was from 1947 to 1954. Just a couple bolts and you're good to go.